Hey guys, how are you today? I'm so excited to be here, bringing some good vibes for our chat today. We're going to talk about the importance of persistence, perseverance, and grace when working on reaching your goals. And then we're going to see how many times I get perseverance and persistence tongue-tied today and just have a couple chuckles about that. I'm Sage. I'm a growth coach. I'm here to help you. I work with clients all the time on their goals. And three of the biggest concepts that come up when I'm coaching people are these three words. So persistence, perseverance, and grace. So today, that's what we're chatting about. And it's spring, and it's a great time to set goals and to make changes. The whole nature is changing around us, and the trees are budding, and it's time for some change. So let's figure out how to do the best job at achieving it. Okay, so let's start with some definitions first, and I thought we'd start with persistence. So the definition of persistence is the ability to stick with something. The ability to stick with something, persistence. Okay? All right, then we've got perseverance, doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. Doing something despite the difficulty or delay in achieving that success. And then grace, courteous goodwill to another or to oneself. Okay, courteous goodwill. All right, so those are our three topics today on how to use those three new definitions to bring some good vibes and to reach our goals. Okay, so how did this topic come up? Well, like I said, it comes up a lot when I work with people. But it also came up for me because I saw this awesome post this week, and I shared it in the Growing Sage Facebook group. If you're not a part of that yet, you might want to join that as well. But this is the post. So the post was by Usain Bolt, who's obviously an Olympic sprinter from Jamaica and often referred to as the world's best sprinter. And he's, since retired from sprinting. But this is the quote it said. "I trained for 4 years to run 9 seconds. And people give up when they don't see results in 2 months." Just let that sink in. And I will make sure to put that post in the comments so you can see it yourself, because it kind of gives you chills a little bit. But anyway, that gets our brains kind of stirring. If he trained for 4 years to run in the 9-second range to be the world's fastest sprinter, then why do so many of us give up when we haven't even made it 2 months into the goal that we're working on achieving? Good question. So let's answer it. And that comes down to the three main reasons or topics that we talked about already. So persistence, perseverance, and grace. Okay, so let's start with persistence. So remember, this is the ability to stick with something. So how do we break this down and actually get better at persistence? Well, first off, and I've discussed this before in some of my blogs and done some videos, but I use the SMART goal concept. And so if you don't know what the SMART goal concept is, it's an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. And this acronym was developed by, leading psychologists to help people attain their goals. And if you're going to set up a goal and you want it to actually achieve it, it's proven that if you use this acronym, you're much more likely to get there. So in this, if you remember what I just said, the R stands for realistic. And I believe with persistence, we first have to kind of take a step back and we have to ask ourselves, okay, so is the goal that I set forth, is it actually realistic? That's a tough one. Because I truly believe that each and every one of us can live the life of our dreams. And reality is a perception. And we're all living in our own perception every single day. So how far out of the box are you willing to get? Is it realistic? Is it realistic for you in your current state? Or do you have to make some tweaks or some changes? Or do you need to simmer it down a notch and chunk it into smaller steps to make it realistic? You know, how do you make the goal realistic? Because it's going to be hard to be persistent if the goal is not realistic. Okay, the next thing is you have to be willing to do the yucky stuff. The yucky stuff. Ugh. You have to do the yucky stuff in little chunks, little doses. Take your medicine, do the yucky stuff, do it in little chunks until you have built up enough momentum that the yucky stuff doesn't seem so yucky anymore and you're feeling awesome about getting stuff done, and you can just coast right in to achieving that goal. Another tip is you might want to put something out there that helps you really envision your final product, because the yucky little steps along the way, it can be hard. You lose focus on your final, goal. So I don't know if you guys have heard about vision boards, but I've been living my life using vision boards for about 15 years now. And I love, love, love me some vision boards. And maybe I'll do another video on just vision boards itself, because it's such a cool topic. But I really recommend putting pictures of what you envision for your goals on this vision board. Mine is right by the side of my bed. So when I wake up in the morning and I stand up, it is the first thing my face sees. So I like to have that as my inspiration for the day. So maybe that works. Maybe you put your goal as like a screensaver on your phone. So every time you open your phone, there's a picture of what you want or what you're working towards. That's another way to do it as well. And then you also have to ask yourself, what is your reason for doing the goal? Is the goal for you, or are you trying to do it for somebody else? And we've talked about this before. Goals that you're trying to do for somebody else are probably not going to pan out, because you have to be the one who's invested in achieving the goal. It has to be something that you want, okay? Then if you've got the final product out there and the goal is really for you and it means a lot to you and you have a lot of passion behind it, you'll be willing to do the yucky stuff. It's going to take a little practice because nobody likes doing yucky stuff, but if you do it enough and you're with that persistence, then the yucky stuff gets easier and it's not so yucky. So think about that. You also want to have time management and consistency. So you want to ask yourself, have you kind of broken out enough time in your schedule to start to, put these things in that you're working towards your goal? So you have to ask yourself kind of what can go from my schedule? What am I going to kick out of here? And if you haven't really thought that through, you'll be able to pack your schedule more full for a while, but then you'll be drowning. And so if there isn't a point of clearance of things on your to-do list, whatever's the newest in your schedule is going to be the first to go. So you have to think about that as well. Finally, you want to celebrate all the small steps. And we've talked about this before as well, but this is such a key concept, because if you can't be super proud for, making it through your first 2 days of working out when you haven't been working out and your goal is to work out 5 days a week for all of May, if you can't be proud every day that you get done with your workout and you're doing your stretches and pat yourself on the back, how are you going to accumulate that passion and joy that's going to carry you all the way through the month when things get tough and life happens? So that's why you got to really celebrate, and you got to feel the feelings of joy when you get to those or when you accomplish those smaller steps. So whether it be a day or a moment of time that you've accomplished something, you have to be celebratory about that stuff. Life's too short. It's not just about the destination. It's also about the journey. And the journey is where the goodness is. So keep that in mind. Okay, so we talked about persistence. So SMART goals, it has to be realistic. You have to be willing to do the yucky stuff. Make sure the goal's for you. Have an end game. have good time management and consistency, show up when you say you're going to show up, and then celebrate the small things. So that's how we get more persistence. So let's move to perseverance. Okay, so perseverance, again, is doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving the success. So if we think about this one comes down a lot to timing. And, when we get amped up for a goal, it's super exciting. And we've got a lot of good momentum usually when we're finally like, that's it, I can't take it anymore. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And that's really cool. And maybe you make it 6 days and then the universe is like, excuse me. Things are going to blow up at work and your supervisor's going to fire your coworker and now you get double the work. And you're like, ooh, what? That's life. Okay, so your timing might not be the universe's timing. And again, we have to have a lot of grace that the universe has got a greater plan for us. So the timing thing really comes into play there, but there might be monkey wrenches. And you can't let that get you down. Okay, remember, part of the definition is that there might be difficulties or delay. You got to keep in mind that life is kind of about a bunch of balls that you're juggling all the time. And at one point, one ball might get more important to you. Like, I'm really going to work on my marriage. Like I'm going to be all in. I'm going to actually do the work. I'm actually going to get better at communicating. This is my goal right now. And you're juggling it and that ball's bigger and you keep focusing on it. And again, all of a sudden this whole at work happens. And then your plan to be home and sit down for dinner and have your conversations gets derailed. Well, bummer, first off, because again, the timing we have envisioned for ourselves may not always be the timing the universe has envisioned for us. And we've got to realize that we can't control everything. And when I'm looking right now, I'm actually talking to myself because this is a lesson I'm continuing to work on. But I bet there's some others of you out there that also need to hear this. You can't control everything, okay? And you don't want to. You don't want to. It's exhausting. So stop trying to control, okay? Go with the flow. Have a little grace, which is coming up next, and realize that your timing may not be the universe's timing, and it's okay. That is the whole point of perseverance, okay? I guess I want to close with perseverance with this thought. You got to think of a train, and you got this goal, and you're just driving down the tracks, and you're just like, bam, I'm going to get this done. And then the train kind of derails. Okay, so that's no good. So how fast can I get this train back on the track? And that's part of perseverance. What strategies can I do? How can I get this train back on the track? And then the other part of perseverance is, okay, while I'm off the track and I'm figuring out a plan to get it back on the track, is there tiny, small little things that I could be doing to still go towards my goal, but maybe at 10%? So that I'm not at a dead stop or dead stall. Okay, that's perseverance. So remember, you can't control everything, and it's all about timing, and timing, can vary, and you could get that monkey wrench, but can you persevere and find little things to do till you get the train back on the tracks? That's perseverance. Okay, so let's talk about grace. Now, I probably should have talked about grace first, because grace is all woven through persistence and perseverance. And I think that it's that time where we need to start having more grace for ourselves and other human beings, okay? Life is not easy every day. Life can get tough, and we can even just feel in a funk for no apparent reason. That's life, okay? So what can we do in order to navigate those days that things just aren't sailing the way we want them to? It's called grace. It's called grace. And please, please, please hear me when I say this. You've got to learn the skill of having at least as much grace for yourself as you would for a close friend. Because you're stuck with you. You're stuck. So why wouldn't you give the most grace to yourself? It's a big one. It's a big one. It's a skill to master. And I know for a fact, none of us will ever get perfect at it. But what can you do today just to give yourself a little more grace? You're doing the best you can until you learn a better way or you know more. You're doing the best you can. Okay? And you're going to get those goals because you deserve an awesome life. But if everything didn't line up today, it's okay. It's really okay. Have some grace for yourself. And just remember, a lot of things that we choose to change our course on or a path on, those things have been things that have added up over weeks or months or years. If you gained 20 extra pounds over 7 years of life stress, and now you're ready to change it, have a little grace with yourself and don't expect yourself to lose those 20 pounds in 2 weeks. That's ridiculous. It's not realistic, and that's not having any grace for yourself. This isn't a torture chamber. Have a little bit easier plan so that you can succeed and you're ready to set the next goal, right? I think so. You deserve it. I'm confident you do. Okay, so we're to the point where we want to wrap up and have just a few final thoughts. Okay. So I guess what I want to say to you is this. In case you're unaware, we are in a massive state of change right now in the universe. Massive, right? And that's you and everyone around you and the entire world. And it's prime real estate to set goals and go for them. Because everything's changing over so fast right now, okay? You are literally a different person right now than you were when you woke up this morning. And that's awesome. So this is a perfect opportunity to be setting those goals, being like, I'm going to create who I actually want to be. And then you take the steps and you have that persistence and perseverance and grace and you go get them. You go get them. But then remember to honor yourself that you deserve to live the best life. You do. You deserve to have your dreams and to be fulfilled and be in wonderful relationships where you can, freely exchange energy and you're not sucking from other people or they're not sucking from you. You deserve all of that stuff. Just have a little grace with yourself. Because when things are changing that fast, even though it's an awesome time for goals, it's some crazy stuff might happen. It's called life. We're at life school right now. So I'm sure there's going to be some curveballs. But you've got this. You really have this. Showing up to watch this today means you're ready. I believe in you. And I'm glad you're following along with Growing Sage, whether it's my page or my group. That's so cool. That means you're growing with me. I love feedback. I love comments. I'll get back to as many as I can. It's so cool. I appreciate you so much. And obviously, if you're ever ready to really focus in on something independently for you, I'm here. I've got your back. I do sessions all the time. And you can find me at growingsagejourney.com and book a session and we can work on whatever it is you want. And I can help you navigate perseverance and persistence and grace because I'm here for you. Because I appreciate that you're growing with me. And I appreciate you. Good vibes. Good vibes. You got this. I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you. Love you.